So how did you get this idea for this book to collect passages from different writers, Egyptian, Arabs, and foreigners who write about Cairo?
I've been teaching Arabic literature for at least 30 years now. I teach it in Arabic and in translation. And over the years, I noticed that the literature on the city was growing, multiplying, and growing as quickly as the city itself was growing. And so I decided to focus on Cairo actually through a seminar that I taught at AUC. Again, once in Arabic, and then again I repeated it in English translation. And it was a huge success. I had a fantastic time. And it was really, as I say, in the introduction to the Literary Atlas, the rehearsal ground for the book. The students were excellent, way of conversing about the idea. So that was the very beginning. And then, of course, the idea to put it all together in a book coincided to a great extent, again, as I say in the introduction, with the move. AUC was going to move from downtown, throbbing downtown Cairo, to New Cairo. And I'm a Cairo girl. I was brought up in the city. I lived here most of my life. So downtown and, the heart of Cairo is really full of memories, personal memories, professional memories, friendships, political memories. And so the move sort of stirred up all of this anxiety that I would be uprooted from the city, and that the city will change because we are no longer in it. AUC, that was part of the 20th century history of modern Cairo. And so I decided, well, maybe this is the moment to put it all together in a book, and so I did.
Why do you think so many writers have used Cairo as the backdrop of their novel? What is so special about Cairo? I mean, you call it the mother of cities, people call it Dunya. What is your opinion? This is an interesting question. I think that the novel itself is connected to urbanity, to the urban phenomenon. And if you look back at the development of modern Egyptian literature, you will see that as the city itself grows, the amount of literature about it grows, and it sort of replaces and displaces the village as the focal point for literary production. And perhaps one of the earliest examples, of course, is Naguib Mahfouz, who maps out his area of Cairo, Gamaal. But not only that, we see him moving out of it, and as he moves out of the neighborhood where he grew up, we witness him writing about other neighborhoods that he moved to, Abbasiyya, but also modern Cairo, downtown Cairo, that begin to sort of inhabit his writing. Now, if you were writing a novel, which part of Cairo would you set it in? Do you have a favorite part of Cairo?
I don't think it's a matter of favorite parts. When you look at the Literary Atlas itself, you will see that each and every writer writes about that part of Cairo that they know best. Even if you have a favorite part, that does not determine the fact that you're going to write about it because you don't know it well enough. I'm a Zamalek kid. I was brought up in Zamalek. I still live in Zamalek. I know it inside out. I can historicize it, what it used to be like, what it has become. And so if I ever write a novel, the area I know best, of course, is that area, Zamalek.
And where particularly in Zamalek? I mean, do you have a favorite street or favorite little corner in Zamalek?
Gamaal Muhammad, where I grew up. This is where my parents are. And now I have been in the AUC residence in Zamalek for the past 20 years. And that, you were talking about, a radius of maybe 1 kilometer between where I grew up and where I live now.
and where I went to school, of course. That's also where my schools were. You know, the Literary Press school, which happened to be the school that Edward Said went to much earlier than I, but also Paul Said School, which was the Manor House. So almost my entire life fits in that neighborhood.
Do you have a favorite extract in this book? I mean, which author and what part of Cairo, if I may ask such a question, because you have such a variety of extracts from such a variety of authors.
If I had a favorite extract, I would not have written the book. I would not have put this together. As I spent a whole year immersed in these texts, and there were just wonderful discoveries throughout the year, surprises, passages that perhaps I had taught in other contexts but had not paid attention to at that level. And so I would be lying if I said I have one favorite extract. I think they're all magnificent. And there's a lot more that we had to actually cut because it was simply too big, too much.
Who do you think the reader will be of this book? Who are you addressing?
Everybody. And I say so. I think this is a book that will work on many levels. It definitely is a general reader book. I mean, somebody who's walking into the city or leaving, going away from Cairo, will want to carry a piece of Cairo with them. And what could be more beautiful than 100 years of literary representation of the city by Egyptian Arab writers in 3 languages. But also, because I come from a rather marginal field, which is Arabic literature, I think that the social sciences stand to learn a tremendous lot from this collection. Urban studies, sociologists, anthropologists, architects, name it. I really think it's a book that can be used as a companion in many contexts within the humanities and social sciences. But it's also an interesting text for people who are doing translation studies, since, of course, we have an atlas that is in English translation. The Arabic is going to be appearing in a couple of months, and so for people who teach translation, they will have identical copies, one in Arabic and one in English. They can therefore use in translation classes as well.
Now, my final question is, you're also the author of another recent AUC Press publication, Egypt's Culture Wars, Politics and Practice. Can you tell us a little bit about this book?
Okay. Egypt's Culture Wars is an attempt to sort of come out of my narrow field of specialization, which is Arabic literature, and to argue that the crises, problems, issues that arise within the literary field are actually parallel and similar to other crises and problems that emerge in the cultural field at large. And therefore the book actually, the various chapters deal with different subfields in the cultural field. So there is a whole section on the literary establishment, which is really my baby. It's what I know best. And other parts of the book then deal with crises and censorship cases in other fields, like the television, the visual arts, the academy, etc. And I think readers get an interesting spectrum, therefore, of these different subcultural fields, and also are able to see for themselves the extent to which the dynamics of crisis are the same, and the strategies for resolving such crises is the same.
Well, thank you very much.